The story of Charles Barkley is not simply about dominance on a basketball court. It is about contradiction, pressure, identity, and the relentless determination of a player who refused to be defined by limitations. He did not look like the typical superstar, did not follow the expected path, and never tried to conform to what others believed a basketball icon should be. And yet, through sheer force of will, personality, and performance, he became one of the most impactful players the game has ever seen. Born on February 20th, 1963, in Leeds, Barkley grew up in an environment where resilience was not optional. Raised primarily by his mother, he learned early on that life would demand toughness, both mentally and physically. These early lessons would later shape not only his playing style, but also his approach to challenges, criticism, and pressure. Nothing about his journey was handed to him. Everything had to be earned. At Leeds High School, Barkley's basketball journey began without recognition or expectation. He was not heavily recruited, not widely praised, and certainly not viewed as a future star. His body didn't fit the traditional mold scouts were looking for, and at one point, he was simply overlooked. But what Barkley lacked in ideal measurements, he made up for with something far more powerful: relentless effort. During his senior year, everything began to change. A growth spurt helped physically, but it was his intensity that truly transformed his game. He rebounded everything, attacked every possession, and played with an energy that separated him from others. His style was not polished. It was raw, aggressive, and sometimes chaotic, but it was effective. And eventually, it became impossible to ignore. One standout performance at a tournament finally brought him the attention he needed, leading to an opportunity at Auburn University. For Barkley, this was more than just a scholarship. It was validation. It was proof that his effort had meaning. At Auburn, Barkley entered a new level of competition, and with it came new expectations. But instead of shrinking under pressure, he thrived. Despite being undersized for a forward, he became one of the most dominant players in college basketball. His rebounding was elite, his scoring efficient, and his presence overwhelming. He didn't just play the game, he imposed himself on it. What made Barkley unique was not just his physicality, but how he combined it with skill. He could handle the ball, push the pace, and finish through contact. He wasn't confined to one role. He was everywhere, doing everything, disrupting opponents with his energy and unpredictability. Still, questions followed him. Could his style translate to the NBA? Could an undersized forward truly compete against bigger, stronger professionals? Those doubts did not disappear when he entered the 1984 NBA draft, where he was selected by the Philadelphia 76ers. Joining a team filled with established stars like Julius Erving and Moses Malone, Barkley stepped into an environment that demanded both humility and growth. He was talented, but raw, confident, but still learning. And most importantly, he needed direction. Moses Malone became a critical influence in Barkley's early career, pushing him to improve his conditioning and discipline. It wasn't always easy. Barkley's personality was strong, independent, and sometimes resistant to authority. But over time, he began to understand what was required to succeed at the highest level. He didn't change who he was. He refined it. And once that happened, everything changed. Barkley developed into one of the most dominant forwards in the NBA. His rebounding numbers were extraordinary, especially considering his height. He consistently outworked bigger opponents, using strength, positioning, and sheer determination to control the boards. But he was more than a rebounder. He was a scorer, a playmaker, a leader. He could take over games, dictate tempo, and impose his will in ways that few players could match. His style was aggressive, physical, and relentless, but also intelligent. He understood angles, timing, and positioning in a way that allowed him to maximize his abilities. Yet, even as his game reached elite levels, his journey was never simple. His personality made him one of the most recognizable figures in the league, but it also brought criticism. Barkley was outspoken, often saying what others would not. He challenged norms, questioned expectations, and refused to present a filtered version of himself. Some saw this as a problem. Others saw it as authenticity. For Barkley, it was simply truth. In 1992, his career took a major turn when he was traded to the Phoenix Suns. The move placed him in a new environment, one where he was expected not just to perform, but to lead. Leadership brought pressure. Every game mattered. Every performance was scrutinized, and expectations were higher than ever. Barkley responded with one of the greatest seasons of his career, averaging over 25 points and 12 rebounds per game. He led the Suns to the best record in the league. His impact was undeniable, earning him the NBA Most Valuable Player award. But success only raises the stakes. The true test came in the NBA Finals, where the Suns faced the Chicago Bulls led by Michael Jordan. It was a defining moment, a clash between two of the most powerful competitors in the game. Barkley delivered. He competed with intensity, played with determination, and gave everything he had. But in the end, it wasn't enough. The Suns lost the series, and with it, Barkley's best opportunity at a championship slipped away. For many players, that moment could define their legacy. The great player who never won a title. But that narrative, while simple, is incomplete. Because greatness is not always measured by championships alone. It is measured by impact. And Barkley's impact was undeniable. After his time in Phoenix, he joined the Houston Rockets, teaming up with legends like Hakeem Olajuwon and Clyde Drexler. Once again, the goal was clear: win a championship. But basketball is unpredictable. Injuries, timing, chemistry, factors that cannot always be controlled, played a role. Despite the talent on the roster, the team fell short. When Barkley retired in 2000, he did so without an NBA championship. But his legacy was never dependent on that, because he had already proven something greater. That greatness does not require perfection. That success does not require conformity. That impact can exist beyond trophies. After basketball, Barkley transitioned into broadcasting, becoming a central figure on Inside the NBA. And just like during his playing career, he stood out. He was honest, unfiltered, authentic. He didn't try to fit into expectations. He simply remained himself. And in doing so, he became one of the most respected and entertaining voices in sports media. The journey of Charles Barkley is not just about basketball. It is about identity, pressure, and the courage to remain true to yourself in a world that constantly pushes you to change. He did not follow the traditional path. He did not fit the expected mold, but he succeeded anyway. And in doing so, he showed that sometimes the greatest strength is not fitting in, but standing out. Thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed this story on Charles Barkley, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more deep dives into the journeys of legendary athletes.